Hi, I'm about to say welcome to my channel Africa Every Day. Before we continue for this week's episode, I'm very sorry. Apologies for the background noise. You can hear the noise of generator in the background. This is Nigeria. There's no stable power supply, so we actually rely on generator and a solar panel to supply our reliable power. So having said that, in this week episode, I'm actually going to show you how we prepare Akam in Yoruba land, specifically in the western part of Nigeria. Akam is also called Ogi in Yoruba language. In English, it's called Pap. For those of you that actually watched my video, in that video that I prepared Akara, I actually ate the Akara with the Pap. So in this video, I'll be showing you how to prepare the Akam from the scratch. So that's what this video is all about. And special thanks to Mr. Mike and my other patrons for making this channel possible and also for making all of my videos possible. I'm very, very thankful to you all. I'm very, very grateful. And for those who also wish to become my patron or to contribute to my GoFundMe, the link will be in the video description below. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this video. All right, to start the entire process of making the Akamu here I have the white maize, maize corn, whichever one. Here we have the white maize. So the first step in making this is to actually soak the maize for 3 days or 4 days, depending on how fast it actually it's softened up, so that it will become soft enough so that it can actually be grounded. So that's the main purpose of it. But before you do that, you actually have to rinse. You have to rinse the grain. It's very important before it is finally soaked. You will discover that there will be some particles or some bad grains, so they actually float to the surface. I can skim them off. Cleaning is very, very important in order to avoid any particle that could be inside. It's very, very important. All right. Now, since that it has been rinsed, now the next thing is now for me to add enough water so that it will be soaked. Now, how do we know it's actually soft enough? How do we know it's soft enough or not? You actually pick one and you bite it, you nibble it. So that will make you to know if it is actually soft enough or not. So I'm going to add more water to this so that it can actually be soft enough. To add generous amount of water to it. So this will be left alone for 3 or 4 days. All right, this is the third day that the maize grains has actually been soaked. All right, so I want to open it now. Oh, it has fermented. It has actually fermented. Now, to actually know if it's actually soft enough or not to be ground, is that I just pick one. You try to see if you can actually use your finger to easily break it. You can see that this is easily broken. So that means that it is actually soft enough to be ground. You can see that. And if you don't have if you don't have long fingernails, you can actually use your teeth. You can just nibble at one of them. If it's actually, if it breaks softly enough, that means that it's actually soft enough to be ground. So that means that I'll be going to where we ground our food now. So I'll be grinding it. So you're going to see where an average Nigerian, where we actually grind our food. Now, point to note, in this our video, you are going to see a lot of plasticware, a lot of basins, bowls that I'm going to be using. Most of them are made up of plastic. In Nigeria, we still don't know anything about regulation, thinking about plastic is dangerous to the environment. We still don't know anything like that. So an average family in Nigeria has a lot of plastics. So please don't now take it personal. That's how we're high in Nigeria. We are yet to understand the impact that what we're using are having on the environment. So I'm part of the society, but I believe in the future things will be getting better. Okay. Having said that, I'm going to show you how we grind this now. Actually, you can use blender to do that, which I believe all of you will have at home. But actually, I don't have a blender. Even if I have a blender, there's no power that I can use to power it. So I'll surely be using the power grinder to do it. I think the woman is going to bill me probably 150 or 200 naira to do this. Okay, before that is taken, I have to decant this water. And after doing that, I have to rinse it like 2 times before I'll actually be able to take it where it will be ground. All right, to decant it now, it is actually fermented. It has actually started smelling like palm wine. So I'm also going to rinse this twice, 2 times. No running water, so I have to be scooping water from the containers. So you have to rinse it. Let me get a sieve to do that in case any grain drops. These are the things that I should watch out for. It can be easily, you know, spotted around if I actually look close enough. You drain the water out completely. All right, the water has been drained completely. So the next stage is for this to be ground. For those of you that actually watched my video on making of akara, you've actually seen how we grind our food. So it is actually similar but different machine. It's a different grinding machine that are actually going to grind this, which is different from one that grinds pepper, melon seed, and beans and so on like that. This one that are going to grind this are more powerful than those. Okay, all right. The corn has actually been blended now. So this is the blend. You can see the blend here. Okay, so the next thing now is now to I'll separate chaff from the blend. Next is now to separate the chaff from the blend. Now to do that, we'll actually need a chiffon cloth. We need a chiffon cloth. This is what we need. Then you drape the chiffon cloth all over the mouth of the basin like this. You now start moving the blend over this so that the chiffon cloth will be separating the blend from the chaff. So for me to do this now, this chiffon is fairly large. I've actually cleaned it. It's fairly large. So this is the way I did it. Remember, you don't pour everything into the chiffon once. Just you'll be scooping it little by little so that it will not be overwhelmed. Any small quantity of salt should not get into it. It's actually to spoil the whole taste and the whole smell and something like that. So make sure that A pinch of salt does not get to the blend. It will spoil the whole thing. So, see that? So that's how you do it. You now be adding small quantity of water. That's very small quantity. Clockwise or anti-clockwise, whichever method you want to use. Depending on the quantity of the blend, this could take about 30 minutes or 1 hour, depending on the quantity, or 15 minutes. So it depends on the quantity of the blend. As for me now, I use a kilogram. I use a kilogram of dry corn. Remember, only dry corn can be used to make Akamu. Fresh corn can't do it. It can't be used to do it. Okay, the moment you realize that it's like we now have more shaft, so you scoop it out of the sieve. You can see that right here. You can see the shaft here. This shaft can be fed to goats and also dogs. Dogs and goats, they eat it. So you scoop another batch. Now, after this is finished, do you feel like you can still get more Akamu from the shaft? You can still repeat the process that we did now if you feel like you can still get more. But if you think you can't get more, so you will move to the next stage. But the way I do it, I believe that I will have gotten at least 90% of the Akamu inside the blend. All right, I've finished the last batch. So I'll be lifting the chiffon cloth now. So I'll be squeezing the last one now. This solution will be left alone for like 3 hours so that the main akam will settle to the bottom of the container. So the water will now be afloat. Okay, all right. So the solution has been left alone for 4 hours. That means that the gas actually settled at the bottom of the container. I'm actually going to decant the water now. All right. There are two methods in which you can actually finalize this. One is that after you've decanted the water, you can actually add fresh water to it. Once you add fresh water, that means the ogi is actually ready. You just be scooping the ogi into the cup that you want to prepare the final akam inside. And every day you'll be changing the water. That one is our liquid way of preparing it. Then we have the solid one, in which after you've decanted the water, which is the one I'm actually going to do, you've decanted the water, then the remaining solution, you put it inside muslin bag and you squeeze out the remaining liquid in it so that the akamu will be in like a semi-solid state. So that's another method of doing it. So you just need to cut a little portion of it if you want to make akamu, which is the method I'm actually going to use for this video. All right. This water is actually called omekon in Yoruba language. Zara will call it omekon or omiogi, whichever one. it's actually useful in Yoruba language. What it's actually used for is that it's actually used for preparing malaria medicine, which we actually call agbo. How it is that done? It is used along with some barks and some other roots, then together with the umi akamu. So everything will be cooked together. In fact, when I was a kid, I've drank this a lot. This is what my mom used to prepare for us whenever we were down with the malaria. But the thing is just that the convenience of Western medicine has actually made this to reduce. But I still love it. It's very, very effective, very potent for malaria treatment. The chiffon cloth has been cleaned, it's washed and cleaned. You can use your clean hands. So you take everything. So the goal of this is to squeeze out every drop of water in this solution. I'm going to place a very, very heavy object on this, and it will be left alone for probably 6 hours. All right, it's been about 8 hours. I'm very sure that every drop of water should have been released out. So let me take this grinding stone off it. Okay, that's quite heavy. So this is Akamu. This is the exact one that we want. This is what we use to prepare Akamu. So to prepare this, depending on the quantity you want to prepare, check the quantity you think it should be enough. Just dissolve it in uh, small quantity of water, water at room temperature. Just dissolve it there before you now boil water and now add the boiled water. So you stir till it thickens up. So that is how it is prepared. So those are the steps that are involved in the preparation of akamu from the scratch. This from the dry corn till it actually becomes akamu that you can prepare and consume. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you. For my patrons, I'm very, very happy. You've been wonderful in my life. For those that became my patron, I'm very, very happy. Thank you very much for supporting this channel. Without you, this channel it won't be in existence. You are the one that are acting as the walls behind this channel. Thank you. I'm very, very grateful. If you have any question, please let me know in the comment section below. Anything you want me to clarify, swiftly I'll respond to your comment or any of your questions. Thank you for watching. See you next time.